Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Joe and Joe Weather Show minus one Joe. I'm Joe Chaffee. I thought this would be a good time. I was up early, so let's update things. Just had a little bit of a computer problem here as we got things started. So I'm going to start with the U.S. satellite as soon as I can bring this up here. There we go. And it's a little hard to get going at 5 a.m. And you can see I'm already having some difficulty here. So hang on one second. Oh, Lord. I'm trying to get my graphics to come up. Now they're not coming up. Let's try it one more time. This is embarrassing. Right before I was about to go on, I had no signal. I had to reboot my computer. Oh, now I remember what the problem is. Hang on. Ugh. All right, folks. It's a sloppy start. I I have to apologize right off the bat. So let's get going. First off, you can see on the U.S. satellite loop where it is that east-west comma shape that is lifting up fairly quickly to the northeast. The back edge is already pulled out of Delaware, Maryland, and into south central Pennsylvania, and it's about to pull out of southeastern Pennsylvania. So let's get a little closer view here. We'll go to the radar. And in fact, the back edge of the rain is just to the west of Philadelphia, just to the south of Cape May. And you can see the band, this northeast southwest band that's curling back in western New Jersey down to southern New Jersey, almost to about Atlantic City. That's where the center is. The center is just near Atlantic City. We've got a couple of special marine warnings, and actually we have a working tornado warning that went up for Ocean County. So let's take a look at that. I'll bring up the Fort Dix radar, and we'll see what's happening. There we go. So actually, this is the radar from Upton. So we'll start with that one first. And there's that tornado warning that pops up in northern Ocean County with two special marine warnings. There's a band of torrential rain moving through Long Island and lifting northwestward. You can see it there extending from out off the ocean. The darker red echoes showing up there. There's probably going to be, there might even be a severe thunderstorm embedded in that. And of course, we're seeing what's happening. We get these spin ups with these tropical systems. The tropical air is just so solid with dew points. We have temperatures in the low 70s and dew points in the low 70s. You don't usually see it that often. One of the interesting things about this, as opposed to a tropical system, say in September or into October for sure, that oftentimes you're getting the drier air. There's drier air usually to the west. You start to get the weather systems that come down in the northern stream to get involved, and the systems start to make that transition to an extratropical cyclone. In this particular case, it continues to kind of hold on to its tropical characteristics, mainly due to the fact that there is no dry air behind it. The dew points are every bit as high behind the system as they are ahead of it. And that's probably going to lead to a chance for some thunderstorms late in the day today and into tonight. But the good news is that this is moving along, and it's all going to start. I think the back edge will probably reach New York City by about 8 a.m. and exit eastern Long Island and eastern Connecticut around 10 or 11 a.m. So it's whatever we wind up putting down, in the next couple of hours in terms of rainfall. And for some areas, particularly in the lower Hudson Valley and northeastern New Jersey, we had those severe thunderstorms late yesterday afternoon and evening, and they were vicious storms in many locations. Rainfall amounts of 4 inches or more were put down in a lot of spots. So the threshold for flash flooding in say, northeastern New Jersey, for example, and in the lower Hudson Valley is so low, it's really going to take very little rain to create some problems this morning on your morning commute. So just bear that in mind. And I'm going to bring up the hazards map. Normally I have all this stuff preloaded, but getting a computer crash 2 minutes before going on the air is set me back just a little bit. So I appreciate your patience here as I try to bring up all this information, all these graphics. But here, just going to check out. One thing I've said from the get-go with all of this is the fact that I really didn't think the winds were going to be a big deal here. And so far, really, I'm just underwhelmed by some of the wind gusts. Normally, if we were seeing a truly tight tropical storm in terms of the pressure, then this would have been a different story. If you think back to a couple of days ago, and how wrong was this, by the way? The European had a 989 low near Sandy Hook. That pressure was absolute fiction. It just is. It's not even close. I'm going to put up the. I'm going to add the sea level pressure to this, so we can take a look, and we can be able to figure out where this system is based on the obs. Now you'll notice that the winds in southern. Here we have one Brandywine Shoal light in Delaware Bay is north-northwest at 35, gusting to 43. So we know from the north-northwest wind that the center is gone there. We have a wind at North Beach Haven is south-southeast at 5, and just to the west-southwest of that at E.B. Forsyth Station, the wind is north-northeast. So the center, and in fact, Ocean City is west-northwest. And I'm looking at the pressure here, 1,001.2. So we have roughly, I would say, 1,000 millibar low that is low center. And it looks like it's right about here, just to the east of Atlantic City. So it looks like it's kind of straddling the coastline. I do see a gust of 49. So there's your first Barnegat Inlet, 49. So right along the immediate coast, I think you're going to probably have to be pretty much on the beaches to see wind gusts to these fringe gales here. Seagirt gusting to 39, Long Branch gusting to 25. The inland winds are really, you're seeing a few gusts. A couple of places are gusting up into the 30s, and that could be due to that tornado warning. So, and the severe thunderstorm that's going through there. That's the one variable here as we get this band to move up the coast that you're going to see some brief strong wind gusts as the band moves on through. Now a little bit further north, let's check out what's going on Long Island. I'll make it a little wider here so we can make more sense of this. And we're seeing temperatures all in the low 70s. Dew points, as I said, all sitting in the low 70s. We have relative humidities at 100%. The wind gusts here along the immediate coast, generally running 15 to 25 on the gusts. The inland winds are mostly 10 miles an hour or less. Winds are southeast. So we know the center is actually trying to, the center is southwest of Long Island, and we'll have to watch these winds as they go around to east and then northeast and eventually turn around to the northwest. The winds across New York City, hold on, I have a feisty mouse that seems to want to do things on its own. The winds across New York City are running mostly east, northeast, and northeast, and in fact, they've actually turned northwest. Light northwesterly as you go west into the western New Jersey counties. So we know the low is not just inland. I think one of we mentioning the fact that the pressures are about maybe 10 millibars too high in order to produce some really strong wind gusts that would be problematic. So that's actually very good news from that respect. That the pressures never did reach the levels that some of the global models were, well, certainly the European model in specific was showing. So good news from along those lines. The HRRR model, I pointed out last night, by the way, these short-term models were really bad at picking up the radar presentation. They seem to be okay this morning, but we're at the point where this is almost over with anyway. And you'll notice that the HRRR from Atlantic City starts to take the low east-northeast. Now, this is at 9 a.m., so it's a little slower in pulling it out. So 9 a.m. for New York City for the back edge. Here we have it at 5 a.m. With the low. This is the new HRRR, which is coming out right now. This is the 8Z, so this is the 4 a.m. HRRR. It comes out an hour later. So there's your low, sitting just east of Atlantic City, Long Beach. Mark Franz, I think you're right. That's probably where the low center is at the moment. And then there it goes. It starts to move east, northeast, and northeast. Looks like it moves right over eastern Long Island. And then eventually by 1 o'clock this afternoon, it's sitting in southern Rhode Island. The center is just south of Providence. So if you want to look at end times, at 7 a.m., southern New Jersey is mostly done. Heavy rain over central and northeastern New Jersey and over Long Island, a pretty wicked band there that comes in. And then by 9 a.m., the back edge at New York City. By 11 a.m., most of Long Island should be done. There's probably some back edge leftover showers. And then it pulls away to the northeast, and it's over and done with. Let's see what the Hurricane Center is saying on their latest advisory. The 5 a.m. advisory is centered at 39.4 north, 74.3 west. Top winds are 50 miles an hour, moving northeast at 31 miles an hour. So it's really starting to accelerate here. We're not really seeing. This is another reason why the winds are not as much of a problem. If you notice, the direction of movement here is northeast at 45 miles an hour. If this were moving south to north, then I would be concerned for Long Island, considering the position. Supposing it were where it is from on the New Jersey shore, that you're seeing that low straddle the New Jersey coast and move upward and move northward. Everywhere east of there would have to deal with the momentum, the 30-mile-an-hour motion that we would add to the wind, and that certainly would produce wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles an hour. But because of the fact that you're moving this to the northeast, all right, so let's re-roll it back. So if you're moving the system northeast like so, okay, your momentum is going this way from southwest to northeast. So your strong winds are going to be out over the coastal waters. The winds on this side, as they turn northeast, yeah, they might get a little bit gusty, but you're not going to be able to add that 30-mile-an-hour momentum on the northeast side of the low. The track that this is one of the big differences in a track like this and say a track like we saw with Isaias last year, which moved northeast up the coast, but inland of the coast. And of course, if you remember, we're pointing out that we had a much deeper upper air trough with Isaias. So this created some non-tropical strengthening. The upper trough that we've seen with this particular system, not impressive at all. So it's really it's doing its job of starting to kick it out and accelerate it to the northeast, but we're not seeing that momentum translate into strong wind gusts. Mark, Jersey Shore gusted in 70-mile-an-hour plus range. It was during rotation signature observed on a correlation differential OB from what I saw during the height here. Yeah, that makes absolutely that makes total sense. Absolutely makes total sense. So we'll move this along. I just want to also take a look, which I haven't done. I'm going to go back to the 6Z HRRR. I just want to see what it's doing for later today. give the chance a moment here for the maps to load. Nice to see a nice little crowd. 5 a.m. I know it's a little bit early here, but there you have it. Uh, During the afternoon, you start to see some pop-ups out to the west that moves eastward. I think we're probably going to see more than what the HRRR is showing. The short range on these thunderstorms has been really nothing short of horrendous. We were looking last night at all the different models, and it was astounding to me just how bad. I mean, they really were just awful in terms of trying to get a sense. Here's the NAM today. Actually, the NAM's got a bit more of an impressive look with some showers and thunderstorms for late today. At least the signature is there on the radar, which it's not on the HRRR. So this will wind up being in the Gulf of Maine. Uh, this is at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, sitting over Cape Cod, and then moving northeast, passing west of Nova Scotia. As a probably at this point, we're going to turn this into an extratropical low. So the NAM's also a little bit slower, and here's at 5 a.m. And by it still has the back edge. It's maybe about an hour or two slower. I think, given the fact that it's moving at 30 miles an hour, we can probably assume that the end times are going to be quicker than what the NAM model indicates. And there are your thunderstorms this evening. Finally, the frontal boundary, such as it is going to move on through. But behind this front, the air is not what I would call dry. It is actually quite moist. So we are going to see humidity levels remain high over the weekend. Temperatures will be a little bit subdued. We'll be still into the 80s, but I don't think we'll see 90-degree readings until we get into early next week. We are looking ahead to what's going to be, I think, a very warm and borderline hot and humid week, because we do have a big ridge that's going to be building off the East Coast. I'll bring up the upper air on the GFS, and we can take a look at this. It's I'm so used to doing the show with Joe and having a partner that I don't get to solo very often. Good morning to our friend Alfred Phillips, who is watching us from the North Slope of Alaska in Wainwright. Always a pleasure to see you on the chat board. And I don't know, you're 6 hours behind us, so you're just getting ready to go to bed. But here we've got ridges on both coasts and a trough in the middle. So it's probably going to be a lot of action in terms of showers and thunderstorms throughout the middle Mississippi Valley. That's a strong cutoff low that's dropping southward over the starting today, and well, actually gets close tonight, and then it really drops in for tomorrow and Sunday. So there's probably going to be a lot of thunderstorm activity and a lot of severe weather going on in the middle of the country, in the middle Mississippi, up and down the Mississippi Valley. While we'll have a ridge position here in the eastern part of the United States, and there'll be a ridge in the west. So the heat is going to be a big deal again in the southwestern part of the United States. Big upper high off North Carolina. This is Monday afternoon. Big upper high in southern Nevada, and then the ridges just kind of flatten out a bit as we move through later on in the week. There's some kind of upper low that's east of the Bahamas. It's not doing anything with it at the surface. I guess since we seem to have a tendency for everything to spin so far, that might not be a bad idea, even though the Hurricane Center is not mentioning anything about it in their outlook, and models don't seem to be doing anything. Might be a wise decision to keep an eye on this with respect to something coming out of it. I don't think right now there's nothing that indicates that it will, but again, we've had a lovely season so far, lovely in quotes, where things have been spinning up left and right. Here I'll just refresh the radar. That back edge making quick progress there in Southwest Jersey, just all done now in Delaware. just about all done in southeastern Pennsylvania, except for the area that's to the west of Trenton in Bucks County. Looks like it's pouring there. And did I leave the? Let's look at the Fort Dix radar. Let's give this a refresh. See what's happened with the tornado warning is still up. Why don't I go to Tornado HQ and see what they're saying about it. This is a good website, by the way, for severe weather. TornadoHQ.com. Let's see, Monmouth tornado warning. They're all listed as expired now. So they must have just expired. There was a tornado warning in Atlantic, Burlington, Ocean County at 3:36 a.m. and then another one that was out at 4:41 a.m. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Dover Beaches, north or 11 miles east of Toms River, moving northwest at 35 miles an hour. But that tornado warning has expired. So good news from that respect. So I guess to wrap it up, we're going to see, it's doing what it's doing now. We're going to get this out of the way before too long. Let me quickly just take a look at, sometimes these obs do tend to refresh a little bit. Look at some of the wind gusts. Harvey Cedars gusting to 40, a little bit further south. Looking at a 22-mile-an-hour wind gust at Atlantic City, and up the coast. Looks like Point Pleasant is gusting to 19. I can't see what station that is. There's a 35 or a 36 sitting under one of the obs. Seagirt is gusting to 35. So again, looking at the inland winds, they're light. And along the south shore of Long Island, as a 5:30, just about 5, coming up on 5:30 Eastern time, we're looking at wind gusts running at about 15 to 25 right on the beaches, and the winds inland really are nothing at all to write home about. So it's all about really, I think, the heavy rains and the potential for some severe weather embedded in those heavy rains as Elsa starts to accelerate northeast away from the New Jersey coast, probably going to make a landfall over eastern Long Island and then continuing northeast from there, eventually finding its way into Rhode Island. By the way, weather conditions here, just kind of sort of getting ready for the bulk of this to get in there. Seeing just very light winds, mostly from the southeast and east northeast as we move back over across Long Island Sound. Let me bring that radar. Let me just bring the Upton radar up one more time. And hang on. Let's go to OKX. And we'll put that one up. And here's the view. We have that large area of coastal waters with special marine warnings, heavy rains occurring all across Long Island from east to west, back to about New York City and into northeastern New Jersey. Looks like there's another big band about to move in as the first one goes out. Rains have moved into southeastern New England, light to occasionally moderate, and a couple of heavier downpours as we move across southern Connecticut and back over into Westchester County. The rotation shows, at least from the standpoint of the rotation, looks like the center now is probably not too far, maybe Barnegat, Seaside, right in there. And the way the models have it, they start to move that low toward the northeast. The tornado warning you see on the radar, it pops up and then it disappears. All right, so let me just come back full screen so you can see my worn face here. It's not what I expected to happen with regards to seeing myself disappear. So, okay, that pretty much wraps it up. I think I'm going to just go with have a nice big stiff cup of coffee and take a look at things with a fresh head in about 15 or 20 minutes. So glad to see that a few of you have jumped on. Nice to know that I'm not the only person up at 5 a.m. If you're watching this later on, We basically looked at the weather conditions between 5 and 5:30 a.m. Eastern time. We did this live, and we will. I don't know if I'm going to jump on again later, but it's almost over. We'll just get it in, get it out, and be done with it. So everybody stay safe. Have a great day. And the Joe and Joe show is not on tonight. We usually take Fridays and Saturdays off, and we will be back at Sunday morning at 11 o'clock Eastern time. Let me just leave you with just a couple of things. I really do appreciate all the support that you folks give, and it's this is kind of how I do this is kind of how I do my life now. So being that just like everybody else, I have to eat. I just want to leave you with a couple of things. If you can, I'm going to put up, boy, I am asleep. Hang on one second. My computer is jumping all over the place. Now I finally got it. If you shop on Amazon, if you go via my link, which I just put on there, you can get what you want, get what you need, and Amazon will throw me back a little bit of coin, and it's the most appreciated. It doesn't cost you a dime, so if you could consider using that link to shop on Amazon, it would be great. Also, another way to support is you can subscribe to my weather platform on Patreon, and that's patreon.com/meteorologist Joe Chaffee. I'm going to put the link up for that. Patreon.com/meteorologist Joe Chaffee. Oh God, guys. There you go. And one other thing. And by the way, that's as little as $2 a month, and you get extra videos, all kinds of extra posts, and it really does go a long way in keeping me fed. And one last thing, and this is for you, and it's for free. If you haven't downloaded it, it is free. You can download my weather app, and this way you can stay on top of the weather. You get my updates. There's satellites, radars, snowfall forecast maps are on there up and down the eastern seaboard. So those 3 links there, if you would consider it, it would be most appreciated. Okay, have a great day. We'll probably won't see you again until Sunday. All right, enjoy and stay safe.